up your Sankirtan missionary spirit so that you can roar like a lion and preach this Krishna consciousness all over the world. With this, thank you all so very much. Over to His Grace Jananivas Prabhu K.
Jai.
Prabhu K.
IIT gold medalist, winner, wonderful qualities. Consistently preaching faith and preaching.
I want to hear your intro.
Hare Krishna. Om Agyantirantasya Jananivas Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Prabhupada Ki Jai. So, we are here to spread the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Panchatattva and Srila Prabhupada. Spreading awareness of the greatness of Sadhu Sangha. So, we have one mantra which everybody should know. Adbhut Mandir Hoy Vipikash Gauranga Nitya Seva Hoy Vipikash. Especially for the devotees of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And say, we want to fulfill his desires. So here's the desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that the Gauranga Nitya Seva Hoy because I sometimes get short memory, lots of things comes to me. But I may stop now and again. So yeah, Gauranga Nitya Seva because Gauranga Mahaprabhu has come to give his own service, bhakti. The incarnation has given this type of devotion before. It's the devotion of the inhabitants of Vrindavan. Their method of worshipping Krishna, especially the gopis who completely surrendered everything to Krishna. So Mahaprabhu has come to spread this message. And he came with Panchatattva, Vivekananda, Vaita Srivas. And yeah, so it's especially as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in Sri Mayapur, his birthplace, and it was about 500 years ago Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came revealed his ideas for spreading Krishna consciousness in every town and village of the world. So just like we're doing now, you're here, you're in some kind of village or town, and you're talking about Krishna, you're worshipping Radha Krishna, Govinda. So then you can tell your neighbors about it. Then their neighbors can tell their neighbors that like this it can spread hand to mouth. Or anyways, the Prabhupada says that one should find out novel ways and means to spread this Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we are doing that also, we have distribution, practice. Anyway, we have some preaching aspects to propagate the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu was we're trying to fulfill this desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Usually says devotees will try to satisfy the Lord by fulfilling his desires. So this desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to have this type of mandir, astonishing mandir, it's his desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So here we get an opportunity to and serve that desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Goswami, Sri Nityananda Prabhu was taken to Sri Goswami in the Prikrama of Navadvip, and they came to the water of Navadvip. And Nityananda explained to Jeev that after the Lord finishes his pastimes, the river Ganges comes and floods the whole area here for 100 years. And after everybody leaves, obviously, when you go to the highland, Navadvip town is highland, so lots of devotees and everyone left to Navadvip and other different places. And then after that, the river Ganges is flooded for 400 years. 400 years. And after that time it goes back. It's not flooding, but underneath is twisting like a snake. And she washes all the pastime places away. The birthplace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will get covered. And all the devotees' houses and pastimes of the Lord, they all get washed away. This goes on for 300 years. Then after that, 100 years and 400 years, again, the Ganges will go back to a steady course. People will come and reside in my forest before. And they will build houses there, build temples there. And then one astonishing temple will come, from which Gauranga needs to say that service to Lord Gauranga is spread all over the world. So so we're taking this mission very seriously because it's been given by Srila Prabhupada. We wanted Mayapur to develop, fulfill the desires of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So actually this is happening right now. This desire is being fulfilled right now. When we first started the program in Mayapur in 1972, there was nothing here at that time in Mayapur. Very flat lands. But now, when you go to Mayapur, you will see that thousands of people are coming every day, especially for the Sunday Arati Gati. Even the Mongol Arati. Mongol Arati means they've got to get up at 4 o'clock to take their bath and come to the temple Mongol Arati. So even now, when you go to the night for Mongol Arati, it's difficult to get in the door. So many people, devotees, means lots of those devotees are staying overnight, so they can attend the Mongol Arati. And so this is our mission, our relationship with Mayapur is to develop and fulfill this desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, this temple actually is, I thought, astonishing. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he had this vision of what he described as being a great mansion house. He describes that he was standing on the bank of the Ganges, on the other side of the Ganges from Moscow. At night time, and he saw what he described as a great monument. Anyway, a great monument-like building. He saw that, and he said it was huge. And you can see the lights from miles and miles around. So, this thing not only Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he had that vision. And also, Srila Prabhupada feels that he had that vision. But he said that, I heard a person say, many names at other times also, that he said, why no one is coming? Why no one is coming to Mayapur? He said, we have guest house, we have nice temple. Why people not coming? So actually, the time of saying that, we didn't have a temple. Obviously. nice temple here. So that means Prabhupada's seen the temple. So I did it with Swami. He was doing his bhajan on the banks of British Window. Which we done Mayapur. And he was the court pandit for King Lakshman Singh. And he wrote something that he said this place is a transcendental abode of the Lord, the Dham, Mayapur Dham. And in the future there will be an astonishing temple will be built here. Chaitanya Goswami appeared 200 years before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he was saying that there'll be a city here and also a wonderful temple. And the name of the predominating deities will be known as Sri Radha And I was just remembering something yesterday actually, that there was some group of boys from Vrindavan. I think his name was Bogadish. There's a picture in Prabhupada's Pushpa Samadhi. There's a big mosaic ceiling. In one of those mosaics, you've got Bogadish and Prabhupada is like holding his hand and was teaching him to write Sanskrit. It's quite a common picture of Prabhupada education. Usually they put that picture of Prabhupada leaning over and holding his hand and helping him. Right. So that way, I really talk to him. They came from Vrindavan for Krishna, and they come into this property. And they saw it's a temple, big temple. And he said, because he was telling me this, he said that he saw this big temple there. So he just both of us, him and his friend, they started to run. They just impelled to run. And they went into the building, the Lotus building, so they could get a better view of this wonderful temple. And they would say, where is that? Where is that temple? We were saying, what temple? No, we saw a big temple here, but we come. There's no temple here. So they saw that temple. These young boys. So much historical evidence. And yeah, so this is what we're doing. This is what's the astonishing temple. Anybody who takes part in helping construct the temple of our day, we just say that this will be this is the glory. They'll be able to help people maintain TOVP. Anyone else asked me to tell some pastime? Check out temple there, it's in Srimantapur. And this Jagannath is about 500 years old. And so the proprietor asked if he could take over the sabre of Jagannath. He said, I have no sons. I have 6 daughters, no sons. So I need to look after these deities. So he donated his service to this one. Still going on today. Anyway, when we first got the deities, because there was no facility there, no facility there, so we said, when we're looking for a mother in Michael, then we'll take one tiffin and bring it to Jagannath. So at least he's getting one offering a day. And so we started to make one last meal for Jagannath. And the devotee had a dream. He got to the dream, he went to the temple of Jagannath, and there was no deities there. So we took him, we saw them there, running across the fields. So he was calling Jagannath, come back. He said, no, we're not going back there. They don't give us any food. We can't have to go to another temple. It's nice food stuff. So I told Jagannath, what happened? He said, I didn't know you already started worshipping. Keep it going, Master. Jagannath's on the key. And Shinidas Master. Happening from South America. She came to me and she asked, I want to give some mangoes. So she said, I said, well, you want to get them now, because we're on season. We're on season. I said, why do you want to get mangoes? She said, well, I had a train. She never appeared in my train. We were walking along, he was holding my hand. And we were just talking. And at one point I said, what service can I have? What service can I have? Lord Shinidas, we like mangoes. If you like, you can give me some mangoes. So, it was during the Gopalima festival, when the devotees were GBC getting to bring so the leaders were there. And then after the festival had ended, and Matthew came and she brought me a bag of mangoes. And she said, can you look at these mangoes? And I said, oh, it's mangoes. And I said to the Pujaris, oh, this Mataji is so fortunate, so lucky. And the Lord mentioned that the other hand gave us some service. She's so fortunate. And the Mataji said, yeah, but that's not all, there was more to the tree. But I never told anyone because my Guru Maharaj said, don't tell anyone. But now I can tell you. The Srinivas said that my Pujari is dear to me and I'm going to take him back home back to India. And so, and she said, no, don't do that. We want him to go home. And so Lord Srinivas said, okay, I'll take one of your leaders. So that was the time all the leaders were there, so he said, yes. Go in this one. Listen. He was preaching to the devotees about Mahaprabhu's relationship with Jagannath and Prabhu. Sometimes he said, I'm feeling a bit uneasy, let me take rest. And then he lay down, and then he went back. Took him back.
Jai.
Anyone have any questions?
Jananivas, have you ever felt scared worshipping Lord Vishnu? Like scared as in, I know that a lot of pujaris were not ready to worship, the deity of Lord Vishnu. But what inspired him to opt for that service, him and his brother?
What inspired you and Pankaj to worship Nrsimhadev despite the fact that it was a risk worshiping Uber Nrsimhadev?
Yeah, we've had so much Sringadev and ferocious devotees. The last persons who worshipped him, they made offences and the whole village got turned into a ghost town and it's everywhere. We were hearing all these different scary stories. So, he said, so you can worship Lord Nrsimhadev. I said, no, I don't have to worship Lord Nrsimhadev. If you have to worship him, I'm the type of Guru, what would you do? He said, I have in mind that you can do the worship. That you should do the worship. I said, no, I'm worshiping Lord Nrsimhadev. So they said, no, don't be here to worship. He said, I can't do worship. Then finally, Pandit agreed to worship Lord Nrsimhadev. So he was doing that amazing job. Lord Nrsimhadev,
Any other questions? I'll forever hold your peace.
What is the best way to cultivate our relationship with Nrsimhadev? How can we cultivate our relationship with Nrsimhadev if we're just starting to get to know him better, get to know more about him?
That's a great to know.
The best way to develop our relationship with Nrsimhadev is for a new devotee. If we're a new devotee.
through service, just find out which service she needs, or if there is if there is. Yeah, unless you find out what Shimada likes, why you ask the spiritual master. What is the best way to worship Shimada? You make the prayers of the Lord from Shimada. So God is a very good thing. Yeah, just worship according to the prescribed method.
Prabhu, can you repeat the point about spiritual master? You said something. Couldn't hear properly about the spiritual master.
Yeah, you can ask the spiritual master how you should
Sorry.
worship according to Shimada. Many people who worship, their approach is different according to the person. So we try to learn the Prabhu's prayers. And look at the solution.
We read the Prahlad's prayers in the 7th canto. Get a better understanding.
No one could understand. No one could go near anything and actually push Prabhu forward. Sundar Bhagavan ki jai. Okay.
But it's okay. Really care, nobody else says something. We'll put you on the spot. So does anyone have any general questions or?
How did you get involved with this service, and what attracts you? You live in the States, but you have such a, such a lot of service that you render for TOB.
I mean, how did I get involved in
Yes.
DVP service?
Yes, and how, like, what's your inspiration behind this?
Well, at the time, this was back in around 2000 and 2010, I think it was. No, maybe 12. Yes, it's around 2011 or 12. And I was in Berkeley at the time. I was the president of the temple there for about 1 year. And I had never even heard about the temple of the Vedic planter and that it actually started. And it started 2009 with the pilings, putting the pilings in the ground, and then the superstructure began. By the time I saw pictures of it, practically this, something was there, very significant, and I had no idea. And then I resigned from that service in Berkeley for various reasons, and I went to India And I saw firsthand in Mayapur the TOVP project. Massive. You really can't conceive of it until you go there and stand in front of it, the size of this. And you can look at pictures and videos, but it's not, it doesn't have the same impression on you as standing in front of it. It's like standing in front of the Eiffel Tower or in front of the Vatican. You can't appreciate it unless you're actually there. So as soon as I arrived in Mayapur, it was in 2013, I immediately pretty much decided, so that this is going to be the next service that I'm going to do. I made that decision in my mind that I also have some talents in public relations from different temples where I was at, and I thought this would be a perfect application of whatever I've learned thus far. I can just do it here, and now this will be the climax of that service, that particular type of service in public relations, and that's kind of what it turned out to be. But the inspiration came from knowing what Prabhupada wanted and his vision of the TOVP and what it's meant to be. That's where the inspiration comes from. Otherwise, it's just another temple or another building, another structure. But this particular temple that he wanted, and we have so many quotes to that effect that Prabhupada said about this temple, but the particular purpose of it was a massive worldwide vision, not just limited to one temple or some temples or one project. This temple would be first of all, what do we call that, there's a word I'm forgetting. It's like a landmark for ISKCON on the world stage. Still another word I'm trying to remember. Anyway, this would be, this temple would put ISKCON on the world map, so to speak. There's one temple to put the whole movement on the map of the world scene, the world stage. And that's what Prabhupada envisioned, that Prabhupada said that my idea is the people of the whole world should come to Mayapur. And they will. When they hear about this temple, this is the largest Vedic temple in the world. It's, it's got not just a temple, it's also a planetarium. There's no such thing in India, a temple that's a planetarium. And not just a planetarium, a Vedic planetarium that teaches people about the Vedic cosmos, cosmological ideas. So it just so stands out so much as a influential and inspiring, educational, spiritual facility that the whole world can come to and learn about Krishna consciousness. And then the results of that, as the saying goes, the rising tide lifts all the boats. As the tide goes up, all the boats go up. So the TOVP is like the rising tide of the Hare Krishna movement. The tide is coming up. Prabhupada said, didn't use that analogy of rising tide, but he said, make this moon rise more and more. He used the analogy of the moon because Mayapur Chandrodaya Mandir, it's the Chandrodaya, the what's the actual translation? Chandra, of course, is moon, but Chandrodaya Mandir. Rising of the moon.
It rises. Shiva is.
So it rises and gets big. Mayapur Chandrodaya, of course, that's Lord Chaitanya is the moon. Also, rising moon of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. So all those things inspired me to get involved with the POVP, and I thought that there's nothing better that I could do right now in my life, and to fulfill this desire of Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada, you may have heard the conversation with Prabhupada and Giriraj Swami, where Giriraj Swami asked Prabhupada, what are the two most important things to you in the Hare Krishna movement? And Prabhupada said that, well, no, Prabhupada didn't say, but Giriraj said, I think that he gave the answer, this, and Prabhupada confirmed. I think the two most important things are book distribution and this temple in Mayapur. And Prabhupada's eyes opened wide. He said, yes, you have understood. Anyone who helps build, all of you, you help to build this temple, Bhaktivinoda Thakur will personally come and take you all back to Godhead. So that's how important this was to Srila Prabhupada, that between book distribution and so many other things, the TOVP was equal, the same as book distribution. Because that's another aspect. The Adbhuta Mandir is going to be Adbhut book distribution. Right? Can you imagine 60 million people coming every year to Mayapur? We'll need 1 million bookstalls. So that it'll become the book distribution center of the world for Krishna consciousness, for Prabhupada's books. So in every way, Raj Vilas has a new angle in his talks sometimes. The Adbhut Mandir. Everything about the TOVP is Adbhut. The size is Adbhut. The deities are Adbhut. The kirtans will be Adbhut. Mayapur is Adbhut. Everything about Mayapur is Adbhut. So it's all unique. Adbhut means unique or astounding. Astounding. And it's all happening in our lifetime. Somebody gave a calculation the other month ago. I was reading something on the internet that if you scoop up about 1 meter of soil from the earth and you can calculate it, I mean, it's an exact calculation, but there are more microorganisms in that mound of dirt than there are human beings on the planet Earth. More bacteria, more microorganisms, more living entities in 1 little meter of Earth than there are human beings. So, out of all the human beings, there are 8, 9 billion people in the world now, and out of that, there are, how many people are even interested in any kind of spiritual life? And then of those who are interested in spiritual life, how many are following the path of Krishna consciousness? And if, in Toronto, let's look at just Toronto, there's maybe you have a congregation of, no, it's 20,000, right? Since Janmashtami. And
Yeah.
now, there's a handful sitting in this room hearing about the TOBP, and, you know, in any temple we go to, you know, a certain number of devotees actually appreciate the meaning of the TOBP, or give a donation to help the project to finish the TOBP. We go some, once in a while we get invited to speak in front of, where I use the word Hindu group, Indian people. They may know something about ISKCON or Krishna consciousness, or have been to a temple, and we do a fundraising with them. And Brajvilas, as you can see, is a very expert speaker. He knows how to speak to the Hindu Indians very well. He's got an angle for them too. And still, you can't get a dime out of them. You can't get a penny out of them. So it's a wonder. It's a wonder. Only certain people are, I don't know if you can use the word chosen or ready to hear about Krishna consciousness and understand it, and to really understand the significance of the temples of the planetarium. It's a real mystery. But we know the answer to the mystery. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit yadati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschit mam vedi tattva. Out of many thousands of human beings, one may endeavor for perfection. And of those who endeavor for perfection, who become perfect, hardly one even knows Krishna in truth. And now we're in Kali Yuga, so Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the avatar for this age. How many people understand that? Who Lord Chaitanya is? Chaitanya Gaura. And how many understand who Prabhupada is and what ISKCON means? Even if they're in ISKCON, sometimes people don't understand it enough. But these things take time to mature. These things take time. But, so anyway, those are the reasons why.
Thank you. Beautiful.
Any other? Yeah.
So like our goal is to finish this TOBP by 2026.
Not finished, but open.
It's open.
Open.
Okay. So like, is it like all the fields are done? Like it's still remaining that?
The what?
So like the planetary system.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what will be finished and what won't be finished,
Oh.
because, yeah, we're not trying to finish it by 2026, we're trying to open, so that we can move all the deities. Right?
Thank
He's gonna manage all of that. So, and the way it's going to be, well, actually, before I explain that, it will be 2026. This changes every little bit. So now on the newest update is it will be a 4-month, a 3 to 4 month festival. Not 2 days or 3 days or a week. 4 months of festival. So it'll start in December of 2026 and continue until Gaur Purnim 2027. And the way that we organize, what I understand now, is one set of deities will be moved in. It'll take some days. I mean, you can imagine trying to move Panchatattva. They're 8-9 feet tall, made out of so many metals, weigh thousands of pounds, and it'll require, I don't know exactly what kind of machines they will use, or tools and manpower to move. Each one will take hours. each of the Panchatattva. Same with Radha Madhava, they're also very big and very heavy. So one set of deities will be moved, and then after that's done, there'll be 2 weeks of cultural programs. Then another set of deities will be moved, and then more cultural programs. Then we're also installing, the deities are already installed, so they're not being reinstalled, they're being relocated.
So that means we are doing the yajna and other.
Yagyas will be there every day. Every day there'll be yagyas going on. Rajbalas was explaining they're training 500 devotees to perform yagyas. 500
At the same time.
in stages. So there should be 500 by 2026. There should be 500 pujaris ready to do all the yagyas.
So, sorry, I missed this part. The deities will be moving from the current temple to the new.
Yeah,
Wow. So Lord Nrsimhadev,
all the deities,
everyone will be.
all of them will be moved.
Wow.
The old building will become some kind of hall.
Krishna's.
With all the new bhaktas in there. Because so many people will join right on the spot.
Very curious to know how will Lord Nrsimhadev will be moved, because he's 1 ton, right? That's the weight of the deity.
I don't know, Mercedes?
I read it in that book.
Oh,
That's from
the
your
one that
tour.
I put together that I
Yeah,
don't know what
yeah,
it says.
yeah. It says 1 ton. Yeah.
1 ton?
Mm.
I think the date was 1 ton, 2,000 pounds. What is that in kilograms?
I have no idea.
Yeah, because it's connected to the, not exactly birthplace, but with his hips. It's connected on back to
A slab.
A slab on
Yeah.
and the bottom.
So besides the deities being moved, there'll also be 15 acharya murtis installed.
I saw a picture over there.
Prabhu, can we come and help? It was very ecstatic and blissful.
Bring your work boots. Gloves.
Safety.
Yeah, 15 acharyas from Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta, Gaura Kishore, Bhaktivinoda, Jagannath Das, and then the 6 before the 6 Goswamis, there's Vishwanath, Baladev, Vijayabhushan, Rupa Goswami, and then the 6 Goswamis, Krishna Das Kaviraj, Narottam Das Thakur. These deities will all be on their own.
Wow. That's the only place where all these acharyas
Yeah,
are.
it'll be the only place.
Because I haven't seen in any other ISKCON either.
No,
Don't have these.
no, we don't have it.
Wow.
One last. This
But
construction.
I didn't finish.
Oh,
So I just want to say about finishing. So that's just the opening of the deities. But the finishing part will take some more years. Because then we have to finish the planetarium wing. There's 2 aspects. There's actually the chandelier above the deities, which is the cosmology chandelier, which will be a partly moving and partly digital effects will be there. Not holographic, but some kind of digital effect will be there to create the spiritual world with all the Vaikuntha planets in the dome. So then besides that, there's also a sit-down planetarium in the east wing. And that'll also be the science center with all kinds of scientific exhibits showing how Vedic science works. Not just cosmology either, but all kinds of Vedic sciences. And then we have other exhibits. When you go up there are 5 levels. And when you go up the levels, there are exhibits at each level along the walls. There are exhibits and artwork, paintings, and things of that sort. So all that will also have to be completed and done. And then you have 100 acres of gardens. 100 acres of gardens.
It's amazing.
Outside gardens.
I'm just thinking, is that like, do we have that much space in India?
Mm.
It's just so incredible. It sounds
It's big, huge.
very nice.
And then that's all part of Mayapur city,
Mm.
which is 1,000 acres. The TOBP is about, my understanding is about, takes up about 700 acres or something total. Anyway, the whole of Mayapur, there's another 1,000 acres, which is developing as a city. So that's the way that's rolling out in phases.
It is only handling by Brahma Gaudiya Sampradaya, like other Sampradayas, like under Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there are other Sampradayas too.
No, the Gaudiya Math and other Sampradayas are not really directly involved. My knowledge is certainly there are Gaudiya Math temples in Mayapur near us, there. And some efforts, have been made over the last several years to try to work with Prabhupada's God Brothers and the Gaudiya Math. But not the TOBP isn't even managed by ISKCON. It's managed by Ambarish and Brajvilas. It's a whole separate management. Separate management. It's part of ISKCON. It's a project of ISKCON, but ISKCON does not get involved directly in the development of the TOBP. Too many cooks spoil the broth. Our management system is we don't have a board of directors. We have a chairman and a co-chairman, Ambarish and Brajvala. They make all the decisions. We don't. Sometimes they consult others, but there isn't a board that votes on everything or decides everything. Mainly the decisions are Brajvalas and Ambarish. And it works very effectively. It works very effectively. You don't have to have a dozen meetings with your board to come to one decision. But he's on the phone all day long talking to people and making decisions. But he's the final decision maker.
How much Lakshmi we need to complete this?
Well, if you include everything that needs to be done in the future to finish it completely, 100%, probably another, we need 30 million to open, to come to the opening stage. The festival itself will cost a lot, so that's part of that. But another 50 million perhaps will be needed to finish everything.
If it's not confidential, how much we collected?
Oh, till now we collected about 80 million, 70 to 80 million. All mostly from devotees. Like I said, we could present this to the general Indian people, they don't understand, they don't know. It's all being built by the hands of every devotee. That's our
Nice.
slogan.
That's amazing.
That's no others are involved, like who eat non-veg or something. So it's no mundane people are involved, like who.
Well, there are professional companies that are helping us. Yeah, not with money. I mean, like the construction, the project management is. You probably heard of Cushman and Wakefield. They're the project management consultants, PMC. So they help to budget the finances, they coordinate the building, the specific projects to complete so that we can reach our goals, etc., etc. So Brajvalas is not directly involved day to day. He's traveling most of the time, but he has company of people doing all that for him, they report to him. But as far as finances, it's all coming from devotees.
Mm.
You know, the Ram Mandir, that was financed mostly by the government of India. We don't have that kind of support. And we probably don't want it because that means that they want to control it also.
Yes, true.
So this is all ISKCON devotees. But like I said, the tide, rising tide raises all the boats. So with everyone helping and pitching in and donating and whatever, the individual temples will benefit. I didn't expand on that so much, but all of the individual temples will benefit spiritually from the manifestation of the TOBP. People will hear about it, they'll go see it, they'll come back to the country where they came from, and then they'll visit the temple where they live.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So there'll be a surge of people coming to the temples after hearing about the TOBP.
I never realized that, that purpose that ISKCON will be on the map of the world.
Yeah.
So I never saw that vision before behind TOBP.
Oh,
It's amazing. Thank you for sharing that one.
I thought everybody knew.
Yeah. I'm sorry. What's
Yeah, I know. It takes, for everything to sink in. We all have so many other responsibilities and things on our mind, and I'm thinking about this every day. So it takes a little time to evolve to a really clear conception. And not only that, but we're talking about how many years is the TOBP going to be there? We say 10,000 years. I don't know if that structure will last 10,000 years, but it is being built to last a few thousand years. So this is going to have a long-term influence on the world. Long-term. Generations of people will come to know about this and visit and be influenced by it. And get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The more devotees will be made out of this as we begin to convince the world of Krishna consciousness, the science, the spirituality. So we look at the science part of it, how important, that was very important to Srila Prabhupada. Sometimes devotees, we don't understand that much but during Prabhupada's time, he established the Bhaktivedanta Institute. He wanted the BBT, Prabhupada's books publishing, BBT, to finance the Bhaktivedanta Institute, whatever they needed to develop the scientific presentation of Krishna consciousness through modern science. We had Sadhaputta, and Madhava Das, and Rupanuga, and Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj. There was about a half dozen scientists in ISKCON. Any of you know Sadhaputta? Ever heard of Sadhaputta? Okay, write this down. Because I made a YouTube channel with all of his lectures. He was such an astounding, he was a mathematician. He could do all these, calculations in his head, one of those kind of mathematicians, right? Sadhaputta Das. So if you go to YouTube, just look up the Vedic Science channel. Sadhaputta Das. Dr. Richard L. Thompson. So I created that YouTube channel with all of his lectures. They're all audios. There's also an archive a separate group of devotees in Alachua who have created an archive, and they have a website and everything too. But you find it? The Vedic channel, Vedic Science channel? You should listen to some of those presentations. He talks about evolution, cosmology.
He's a devotee.
Yes, Sarvabhuta Das. He's no longer alive.
Oh, okay.
He's no longer living. Look at the subjects there, and you can pick one. There are seminars. There are some videos that he made, and hearing him speak is like a person from another world. He's such an intellectual, scientific.
Is he a godmother?
Yeah, he also initiated by Prabhu.
I see.
He also wrote these books. Maybe you've heard of some of his books.
Forbidden activity.
Say again?
Forbidden activity.
Yeah. Oh, yes. He helped Dhruta Karma with that book. He and Dhruta Karma wrote that book, Forbidden Archaeology.
Oh.
So he also talked about archaeology, evolution, flying saucers,
Yeah, quantum physics.
Wow. He was involved with these?
all those topics.
Wow.
But he had some other famous books, The Sacred Universe. So all kinds of books. You'll see one of the videos on the channel is his books, which you can order online. They're available.
Hidden history of the human race? That one?
History of,
Human race? Hidden history?
yes. Hidden history of the human race.
Mysteries of the sacred universe.
Yeah, Mysteries of the Sacred Universe.
Wow. This is interesting.
See, so Prabhupada, this was, I would say, it was on the level of his book distribution. That was his interest in science and Krishna consciousness. Maybe that could be the third thing that Giriraj Swami could have said to Prabhupada. What are the three things that you want most? And science, preaching Krishna consciousness to the scientists was so important to him. So that's why this Vedic planetarium, Prabhupada conceived of the Vedic planetarium to present Krishna consciousness and science. Otherwise, all these, we have all the Puranas and Bhagavatam, all these histories, but we have to present them in such a way that they're not just mythology. They're actual history. Our whole conception of the world around us that we have learned in our modern upbringing it's like the example Prabhupada gives of the frog in the well. You know the story of the frog in the well? There's a frog in the well, and there's two frogs in the well, and one frog says, "Did you know that there's an ocean besides the water in this well?" And Prabhupada used this story as Dr. Frog, scientist frog. And the scientist, Dr. Frog, says, "An ocean of water? Impossible." And he blows himself up, get puffed up. We use that to illustrate becoming proud or puffed up. And then said, "Yes, there's an ocean, and it's so vast you can't even conceive of it." Said, "Impossible." Blows himself up further. And then finally he just pops. The frog just pops. And blows up. So the frog in the well, the Dr. Frog, can conceive of the reality of the universe with our limited senses. The frog could only conceive of his immediate surroundings, but he could not accept that there was something beyond what he could conceive with his mind and senses and intelligence. That there's something actually far greater beyond that. So we have to be able to show people how these histories and the Puranic histories and Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita are not just nice stories or bedtime stories or some kind of fables, that they're actually took place. They're actually, the people were there, and this is what they said, and this is what they did, and this is how it all descended from this person to that, to this king and that disciple, etc., to the present time. And how this happens over and over and over and over and over again through the ages. Satya, Treta, Dwapara, and Kali Yuga, all the yugas just had over and over and over again. Practically it's not infinite time, but it's a long time. Brahma's one day, and then his 100 years, and then he comes out of the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu's navel. And Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is in each universe, and there are infinite universes, and they're all floating in the causal ocean after emanating from the pores of Garbhodakshaya, after Mahavishnu. Who can conceive of that? And Mahavishnu is coming from Sankarshan. Sankarshan is part of the quadruple expansions of Balaram. And Balaram is the first expansion of Krishna. And he's the original person. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Prajam. So that's what they're going to see in that cosmic chandelier. Above they're going to see all the planetary systems and everything going up to the spiritual world. And then the exhibits in the science exhibit will explain everything in detail so people can understand how it's working. It's a challenge. Rajvilas was saying we're not out to please everybody. The Prabhupada wasn't out to please everybody. He wasn't a compromiser. He came to teach, not to accept something else. He came to teach something new. So the whole planetarium will be an affront on modern science, actually. We're waiting for Braj Vilas to come back.
Oh,
And then if you Prabhus would like to take darshan, you'll do some
Oh,
kirtan.
darshan.
Yeah, because altars are open now.
English Prabhu insisted on this.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for giving us the time to
Thank you
speak.
for sharing that.
Now you can see why Braj Vilas pushes this so much.
Yeah.
He will be